Hello, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is PoppinCulture Podcast. My guest today is Rodney Butler, aka Comedian Pudgy. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast, man.
Appreciate you having me, man. Happy to be here.
No problem, man. Uh, the topic we'll be talking about is women empowerment. Pudgy chose the topic, but before we do, I love talking with comics about succeeding. A lot of people talk about bombing, but I would love to talk about killing. So, when was the first time you killed, and how did it feel?
I think the first time I really killed like a big crowd was at the Comedy House during one of our Wild Out shows with 103.9. It felt super awesome. It's great when the crowd is able to laugh at the punch in your joke when they're supposed to. That's that's the best thing ever. You know, it really makes you feel like somebody too.
Okay. Um, has that compared to anything you've done before?
Nah, yes. I played ball, back in high school and whatnot. It's like when you make a big play
Okay.
and the crowd go wild, you get up and celebrate.
Nice.
Sort of that feeling, but it's throughout the whole act. So
Nice. Was that the night I came to see you? The night you hosted?
nah, that was hosting for me. I'm still working on it, honestly, but it's like a different vibe where when I host, I like to do more crowd interaction rather than trying to run a set of jokes because, that's what the acts, the features. I just like to be generally funny and, get the crowd and keep the crowd in a good mood and ready to hear the next comedy, because you want to keep the crowd hyped. That's a big part of the show too, because if you get a boring in between, man, you could be hurting that next comic. So it's not really, when I host, it's not so much as about me. It's about just keeping the crowd live for the next comic.
Nice. I think the biggest rule of thumb when it comes to hosting is you set the tone. So if you set a good tone, you just keep it there and it remains a great show.
Right on.
Nice. So to get to the topic you chose, women empowerment, thank you for coming on to discuss this. This is very important. When you think of women empowerment, what comes to mind?
Honestly, my mom.
Okay.
Reason being is because, I've been shot in the head, and that's always been my story of, single dad after being shot in the head, raising his kids and all that, to, keep going and make it, being successful in life. And I always, I generally take credit for that, but actually every bit of it is just me simply mimicking my mother. Okay. Like, I watched my mom work hard her whole life and not make a single excuse no matter what. No matter how bad it got or how aggravating or whatever, stressful, she's like, my kids need and I'm going to provide, bottom line. So I just took everything that I saw and that I was raised with and just did it myself.
Okay. Like you say, you were a single father. You have 3 kids?
4.
4 kids, I'm sorry. In your opinion, I grew up with a single mother also. So I'm sorry. Did you grow up with a single mother?
No, I didn't. I had a dad, but my mom was the boss. She ran the show. He would only get in action when he's called.
Okay. Okay, I've never heard it put that way. All right. I grew up with a single mother, and my mom, she like you say, she never made any excuses. She just kept her nose to the ground. But the question I have for you, as a single father, do you think a few things would have made it easier, or would have been easier to explain if you had a female there to help you?
Yes, because my oldest child is a daughter, and having another lady would have made a lot of those conversations easier on me. I would say she walked me through it, holding my hand because she know Daddy was nervous.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, it would have been nice to have a female, but at the same time, the relationship I have with my daughter right now, I wouldn't trade it for anything else. So, I mean, it's how you look at it.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna discuss how women empowerment has not only influenced pop culture, but has made staples into pop culture. I think back to old TV shows where, believe it or not, well, you're a little bit older than me, but did you know that like men used to like just hit women on TV? Like that was just a part of sitcoms.
Yeah.
Like that was just a normal thing. And just to see how like just television to start off, for example, started just that, and now where it is today, where it's like you'll see more women hit men than the other way around, and like in action movies and stuff like that. Um, do you, the the empowerment and the contrast and just that on television, it shows how fast it's been also, because that's just a couple of years, how quickly that has changed. When it comes to just television at that aspect, have you seen any noticeable differences when it comes to women empowerment?
Yeah, I feel like it's just been a straight rise. Now, don't get me wrong. Back in the day, they used to show, women beating men, and nowadays it's seen as negative. But at the same time, that was also a window into a lot of people's actual lives. Whereas everything ain't always good in Mayberry. Everybody don't live like that. So you don't want to just ignore those people out there, because then they'll feel like they're totally forgotten. But at least now at least they know this happens. And that was the start. And now it's like the women, they on top, they in power, and they kicking butt all over TV. And hey, listen, ain't nothing better than a woman. I'm telling you,
I agree.
we'd have a lot less wars if women were involved a lot more, because we know what we did.
No doubt. It would not be. I agree. I know people like to make the joke that women have started wars, but I think that would be totally different if like women had to. I think women would do more talking to not start wars than to start wars.
I don't think they should judge women leaders in a negative way, because of the fact that this is their chance. Let them have their chance. Let them fail before you say they're going to fail. Let them. We know we failed.
Yeah.
We know we started wars and lost a lot of people. So why are we each going to say we think they're going to do? No, we don't think. We going to wish the best for them, and I want them to keep pushing, because you know what? Honestly, I think that's what we all need.
Exactly. And if they, and it's one of those things where if they don't succeed, let's say if they don't, it's not negative. We couldn't do it either. Like it would just
exactly.
It's one of those things where it's like it was pretty hard, wasn't it? Like it just,
Yeah. So all in all, they can only do the worst case scenario for a woman leader to do bad is only to equal us.
Yep.
So let them have their shot.
Yeah, I agree. When it comes to like genres of music, you're a little bit older than me. Have you seen it has it increased more in your eyes to see the popularity?
It's funny that you brought that up. There's actually a topic I wanted to cover, actually, because I give Meg Thee Stallion a hard time, and Cardi B for the the vulgarities in their rap. And I was like, for a long time, I was like, man, I want my daughter to talk like that, man. Why is she acting like that? That's not how a woman's supposed to, just really judging them. And then one day I sat down and thought about it, thinking about back over my time. She's just the modern day Uncle Luke. We guys all used to cheer and bump that Uncle Luke disrespecting women this way, that way, and it was all good and gravy. Now Meg Thee Stallion doing it, and everybody feeling uncomfortable. Well, I want to be the first to apologize. I'm sorry for judging. You do your thing, girl, and you keep on doing it, because you are new Luke. You Auntie Luke. You Lucina.
Look, you're a close second, Megan, but till you get banned from a state, I can't give you that title. You gotta get banned somewhere, and then I'll be like, what? She is the female group. When it comes to, that's a perfect example. But do you think that that's always been a thing with women speaking in that tone, that vulgar tone, or do you think that's something new to now? I wouldn't say the word vulgar, but more expressing their own body, I guess, if that makes sense.
I mean, honestly, I think they're just tired of it. I mean, because that's what men were doing the whole time. So it's their body. They should be able to do it if anybody should be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think what the big fear is, eventually they're going to start talking more about us. And a lot of us, A lot of us smaller players don't want our business in the streets. So I think they're getting a little worried.
That's for them players. I didn't even think about it like that. Maybe that could be a great There's some people. Yeah, that's a hard way to be outed, but wow, yeah, that's true. We would definitely see who they dated now more often. Like you would, be like, man, I thought she was talking to so and so, but okay. And we'll move to sports. A lot of people joke about the WNBA just because their attendance, but I actually do enjoy watching from time to time. Like they are very athletic. Also with tennis, I'm big into tennis, and for the longest time people give them a hard time because with female tennis they only play 3 sets, but for men tennis they play 5. So a lot of people would make the excuse that they shouldn't be paid as much as the men because they don't play as long as the men. But I don't think that should be the case. They've already set the rules. Let's just pay them for their own entertainment. When it comes to female sports, how do you see it?
Okay, I'll start with tennis since that's your favorite. Honestly, in tennis, have you seen Serena Williams?
Yeah.
They should be paid triple what men pay. Because there's a lot of us that's watching tennis just to watch her. Ain't nobody ever watched no tennis till she came along. Like, I'm pretty sure those views have probably doubled to tripled.
Especially in America.
Right. Just because of her.
Yep.
And her sister. They should absolutely be paid as much. In every sport, not just tennis. Just to tie over to the basketball, the difference is the WNBA is still young. When the NBA first started, they weren't making much money either. They didn't have the big crowds either. They had to go through the building up, and that's just the same thing. So I don't think it's fair to compare the two, but I do think that the women are playing just as hard and should be paid well too. Absolutely. Yes. It's just that they're just at the beginning stages of their own empire. So as they continue to grow, and I only know more and more people that support, honestly, y'all need to make a men version of the women's basketball jersey. Give us something to wear too. We wouldn't mind, hey, we support. Yeah, it messed your mind up, innit? A men's version of the woman basketball jersey. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, let me make sure I agree with this sincerely before. Because I'm thinking about for women, you remember, you're old. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm about to be 29, so I feel super old. But you're a little bit older than me. Do you remember dress jerseys? Yes.
You remember how dumb that was?
I thought it was nice.
Okay, my fault. It was nice. It was my fault. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay.
It's okay. It's a 10-year gap between us.
Yeah, true. Really? Okay. When did they stop being cool?
It's like everything, man. It's just
okay,
it's just a fad. It goes away. Okay. It's there while it's there. I'm still trying to understand the skinny jeans on men. I still don't get that one.
I'm not gonna lie. We can throw that. I agree with that. We need to stop that, but let's please not go back to baggy suits. I remember going to the Kingdom Hall in baggy suits. That was weird.
I'd rather a baggy suit than some skinny jeans. What's with the sagging in the tight? The tight, how you bought them too small and you have your belt tied on some child's pants around your knees. Not cool. Not cool, guys. Not cool.
Yeah, I don't know who made that popular. That part. I've never understood sagging. But we totally got off topic. Sorry about that. Now, the one thing, and I hope this doesn't sound sexist to any women or anyone that listens, but do you, in your opinion, this question, do you believe there's any sports that women shouldn't play?
Oh, nah. I don't feel there's nothing women shouldn't do just because they're a woman. They should do whatever they want to do. And if any man is remotely intelligent, he will agree with me every time. Not seriously, but yeah, there's nothing that men can do that women can't. It's actually something that women can do that men can't, like have kids. Come on, man. It's not a comparison.
Yeah. But to tie in that question one more time was, do you think that men should go against women in some sports?
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. So you mean like a men versus woman?
sport. Like because I'm big into MMA, and I truly should. I know how much talent and experience goes into and hard work goes into MMA, mixed martial arts. But I can't literally say
No.
a man that weighs 185 should fight a woman that weighs 185.
A man that weighs any weight shouldn't fight a woman that weighs any weight. That's like you're saying it's okay for a man to hit a woman. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Like there should never be, as far as especially in fighting, in physical contact, I'm sorry, the way a man's body built is different than the way a woman's body is built. Simple as that. So I don't think any man should be in the same sport with a woman as far as physically. Now in a race, I think there should be men races and women races, but I think we should have let's see who's the fastest out of all of, and just let the fastest man versus the fastest woman race. I think that'd be something to see.
It's just one of those things. Like I feel like it could go perfect, but I also feel like I would hate for the odds to not go the way. I would hate for it not to be even, and then like it becomes an issue if that makes sense. Either way it goes.
I can see that. I understand.
Because that's the only reason why some sports I'm just like, let's keep that division.
Yeah. I mean, that should. I mean, like just a special event type of thing. Yeah. It's just to see who's the fastest at this point, but not a regular match in a woman versus a man. No.
Yes. I was surprised to see how many, and I don't know about for college, but for high school, there's a lot of females playing football right now.
That's different though. They're still kids.
True.
That's totally different. Your strengths can be along the same levels growing up. In fact, most females mature faster than males, so there's something, I guess I don't know if it's spoken or not, but it's called adult strength. Most males at least realize it. The strength you have growing up as a boy is totally different than the strength you have as a man.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, when they're growing up, it's more of a level playing field. But as you mature into a man and she matures into a woman, it's two different levels, two different types, and they shouldn't be matched up.
Yeah. From this angle, we'll go on to sports are a job, but more into the work field itself. I'm in the medical field. Matter of fact, since I've been in the medical field, all my bosses, literally, except for one, have been all female. Do you think that the opportunities now, the past couple of years, have grown, or do you think they're still kind of stagnant when it comes to the levels that women get jobs compared to men?
I think they're making a push for it. I mean, I see they're pushing, and I even in my current employment, I see a lot of woman empowerment, which is awesome, and I want them to keep it up. But I'm not like. And I don't see anything negative. Like I feel like they've been behind, and they're still behind, because if you look at professions, like more often than not, a woman and a man having the same position, the man usually makes more, and it's been like that a long time. So it's good that they're pushing for it, and women deserve to make. When it comes down to things like that, yes, if she's a doctor, she should be paid just as much as the male doctor. There's no such thing as he's paid more because he's a male.
Yeah, I agree. All I can say is the medical field, like it's pretty hardcore for that for the most part. Of course, it's what you ask for. So in some points, you do have to ask for what you want. But for the medical field side, I've seen it mostly that women and men get paid pretty equally on this side. When it comes to wealth in general, do you feel like that's going to equal itself out? Because right now, when it comes to most wealthy, it is big margin where it's mostly wealthy men compared to wealthy women.
No, it's mostly wealthy white men.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, the whole country is built for them to maintain power. So, yeah, I vote giving anybody else the power is a good thing. Yeah, they have it extra worse as women. So, I think they deserve to have some of that wealth, but the current situation, they're gonna fight off anybody who's trying to change. Look, they even have a problem with giving up, coal to go to renewable energy, because that means they won't be the top bosses anymore. And this is something against the world, bro. It's like the world. This is killing all of us. Why are you shouldn't trip about this? This is for all of us. But rather than lose power or let anybody else get it, They'd rather kill the whole world.
And the crazy thing is, you would think they just learned this yesterday. They've been fighting this for years on years. Like, this is like decades in the work of them just putting propaganda out there for the most part, saying that, no, keep doing what we're doing now. It works, but it doesn't. Yes. So the push, when I say how it's influenced pop culture is, have you been to any of the women marches by chance?
Man, I walk with a cane. I don't do much marching at all.
That was stupid on my part. I don't know. I heard myself say it, and I was like, this is not good.
Kind of left that one out there.
Yeah, it was. When I heard that, I was like, man, I hope we don't take this.
I'm sure it's. I mean, I would definitely go, but I'm sure it's a lot of guys that do, attend women marches. I mean, it's. I tell you what, fellas, if you want to succeed, you better push for these women to leave, bruh. That's just for real. We already see we can't do it right. We still trying for us to do it right. I ain't never seen nothing work like my mama.
Yeah.
Give the women a shot.
The latest example, because there's so many latest. The latest example is them. Man, I'm gonna forget it, but it's about I forgot what it's called. But there's a few states they're trying to literally ban abortion right now. Like literally, they're trying to go back and like vote to ban abortion, and that is just something that you forget. Like, oh yeah, there are laws that like you can still like if they wanted to go back and reverse a law, they're still able to do that. And just as being black man, that scares me even more, realizing like, oh no, laws don't have to stay in place.
Yeah, they can go back and reverse a lot more of them.
Yeah.
Some of them haven't been reversed. They just look like it.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, that was the biggest things. Learning that like, you get the wrong people in office, abortions could stop. Which I'm a true believer of like whatever their choice is, their choice. Do you think that having more women in office will help with that, or do you believe there's a couple women that out there that are just like, no, abortions are bad?
I think even the women that say abortions are bad, I think they're only saying it for a dollar sign.
Oh, okay.
I think all of that is for a dollar sign, because just think of the concept. You're telling her what to do with her body, but then you complain about any government resource that may be built to help her and that child. Mm-hmm. If you're going to take away her choice in whether or not to have a child, then you should be able to provide for that child as a father would, no matter what. So as far as her having to go extra out of her way, she shouldn't have to. Like if you're going to say that you got to have this child and you got to raise this child, taking away her choice, then you got to provide a way for her, help her. If you want to say that, then that they should have a 3-bedroom house, 2-story, with a whole plan to help her and babysitting and all of that, help with college. If you're going to take away her right to say whether or not what she wants to do with her body. I'm not saying I'm for or against abortion, but I think I'm 100% for a woman having the right to do whatever she wants with her body, because we certainly do as men. So why shouldn't she?
True. I don't want to like jump on that point, but that was good. I never thought about somebody could be backdoor paying them to say this. So yeah, money definitely can influence people.
Man, that's our politics are run on that every day. And look right now.
Yeah, right now. Yeah,
money is the only thing that matters. Man, come on, just to jump on it, just the common sense. Like I grew up, man, in the '80s, bro. It's January, man. It was 60 degrees the other day. What happened to winter?
Yeah.
We don't even get winter no more. And if we do, we might get a few cold days in February, at the end of February. We need to start paying attention if it ain't already too late to pay attention.
We went to Spurl Beach for New Year's, and you're right. It wasn't hot, but it was warmer than it should have been for January. So you're right. 100% right when it comes to that. When it comes to the new voices of women empowerment, the younger voices, do you feel like they're both coming together, or do you feel like they're nudging each other? Because sometimes I hear that they're agreeing, and sometimes it does seem like the younger ones are more of, not saying outspoken, but more like, hey, look, let me do what I'm doing. Whatever you were doing, you had your time.
It's just changing times.
Okay.
if you look at the older women now, when they were the younger women, the older women over them were saying the exact same things. Oh, you're radical and you shouldn't be doing all this and you shouldn't be doing all that. And now it's just a change in times, and women, they are more outspoken than they usually would have been, but that's just progress. Yeah, I know it makes a lot of people feel uncomfortable for a woman to say whatever she wants, just like a man would. The funny thing is, they're so quick to judge it. Oh, she shouldn't talk like that, but men talk any way they want to. It's just a change in times. But I think that's just the next generation. Just like I be getting on my kids about all that cursing in rap music, and I go and put in some locks and be like, "What was I talking about?" So it's just a change in times. I think the best way for it to work is together. That's it. But it's just the next generation, and the older generation is always a little different. But let's not lose our self-respect.
Yeah, of course. And this is going to be very biased on my point. You don't have to agree with me at all. But do you feel like most of these changes recently have happened because of black women?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why all these changes happen. See, black women got this. Black women got this little thing about them where they get tired of your shit. So, yeah, they got tired of your shit, and now they speaking a little bit louder. I love it. I go girl.
Okay. I was hoping we agreed. Okay, cool. I 100% think the same. Even when it comes to elections, mostly when the way black women vote usually goes by how everybody else will vote. That was a crazy statistic when I learned it, but history just shows that the way black women vote, or usually the way everybody else votes for the most part. And that doesn't carry in every course of voting, but for a great majority, they have a great influence.
I mean, it's just common sense. I mean, look at the history. Black women have always adapted.
Yeah.
They've always been able to survive and thrive, always found a way to raise their kids and make sure their family all right, make sure that if the man providing the food, she cooking it. So making sure that everybody get fed, including that same man. So it only any person with logical common sense should choose to follow these women that's trying to lead. I am.
Yeah. And my last question for you, in your opinion, what was your first time seeing? In your opinion, what was your first time seeing something that was like you would categorize women empowerment?
Like women taking over?
Yes. What was like the first time you can remember being like, oh, like something that would categorize as women empowerment?
It's hard to say, really, because I mean, just thinking back, I could think about a lot of powerful women that it's been, but not a lot. But I'm just saying in general, like you think about Oprah Winfrey and Whoopi Goldberg and all those superstars and mega stars. It's just more of them. It's just more now. I think the first time I really saw a change in, I would say it had to be Whoopi Goldberg, because just in general, or at least in the black culture, we look at her success as, she's up there with the white man, if not above them. I mean, if you think about somebody who got more money than Whoopi Gold, the Oprah, you thinking like you jump to Bill Gates, you jump to a real big boy. You don't say like Donald Trump. He's a big he ain't got Oprah money. Yeah. Oprah got her own network. Donald Trump ain't got his own network.
Oprah got her own magazine and she on the cover every month.
She's supposed to be as hers. Think about all the time she was supposed to be on the magazines before now. All those magazine covers that she was gypped on just because she was a black woman. Yes, put yourself on there every time. I put other people on there too, but it'd be us together.
What you say? You could be in it, but best thing will be like this in the background.
Yeah, definitely. She deserves that.
Nice. I agree. My own experience that I said the first time I had, because it was something I truly didn't know growing up. Like I heard about it recently, but like in my mind I just not on my own on my own, like not paying attention, but you okay? But not on my own. It was just something I just didn't pay attention to. But my first time I was like, man, this was true woman empowerment. What I had to say, 2016, when Trump became president. Do you remember it was like a bunch of marches the day he was elected? And I was just like, wow, I didn't know it was that many. Like, it was marches in different states. Like, I just didn't know it was that many women that came together just for that. Like, it was.
Yeah, women been doing that. They just not be getting credit. That's all. They been doing that.
Yeah, but that was like my first time seeing it. And I was just like, oh, okay. Wow. All right.
I think that was your first time probably realizing it, but I doubt it was your first time seeing it. And I'll tell you for the same reason that I just realized. So my first time that I honestly, and I can tell you it's a lot of people who listening, a lot of y'all first time seeing true women empowerment is when your mom went out to the school to talk to the teacher that done made you upset, that made you come home crying. Oh, you seen woman empowerment before. Because when your mama came out there to that school for messing with your child, ain't nobody argue with her. Ain't nobody raised their voice at her. Everybody was ready to cooperate. Right. So you already seen woman empowerment. You just seen it on the main stage now.
Yeah. When you put it that way, yes.
Oh yeah. Mama done came out of that school and that teacher don't want no problems.
Yeah, my own personal story was I grew up like a single mother, so like I never met my dad. I know he died like 6 years ago, but I never met him. Long story short, I don't know what I was doing in school, but the teacher wanted to meet me and my mom for something I did, and I was like, and I told the teacher because when you 7, 8, you don't know. You're just like, hey, I don't know my father. She was like, he better come, and I was just like, okay, I'll tell her. And I'll never forget, my mom didn't even go up to school. She's like, next time you see that teacher tomorrow, you tell her. She gonna kill me if she sees this. But she was like, tell her you know your daddy on the first. Because that's when the child support came.
It's okay, man.
And I told the teacher that, man. When I say, she was like, okay, Michael. And I never got in trouble. She never bothered me that school year. It was just super chill and easy. Like, that was it. Like,
yeah, because you know what that meant from mom. Mom mean like if you keep on asking these questions,
like if you want to meet
I'm
this
going to
man,
come talk to you. Okay, she ain't want that. Yeah. End the discussion. Yeah, we all seen woman empowerment before. Yeah. It's just on the main stage now.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And it's one of those things where you can't cover it up anymore. It's not like
No, because they're not gonna take the back seat, and they shouldn't. Because I'm telling you, man, it's just like I said, it's everywhere, and we already did it wrong so many times with the men. We always do it wrong. Please let them heal us up. Ain't nothing better than a woman's love, bro. Let them heal us, please. You see, and this is just something that bothers me. Me and you are of the African American community. Well, you look mostly like you might be one of us.
When I get pulled over, trust me.
Oh yeah, you definitely want us when you get pulled over. But it hurts me for us to have a black woman as the vice president, and then we'll have some of our own to speak negatively about her. That hurts me to my heart because this is happening for us, You can say she ain't gonna do this, she ain't gonna do that, but she's up there. Let her try. We know we ain't did nothing. Stop doing that, man. Support her. Let's see what happens if we support our black woman like they support Donald Trump.
Yeah.
We need to stop that, bro. And that's the only reason that black folks, we can't get over nothing. We can't complain about it. How we gonna complain about cops killing us when we keep killing us? And that's the first thing they're going to throw in our face. Ask anybody who talk about it. That's the first thing they throw in our face. And it's hard to accept that hard truth. But we gotta support each other, bro. That's just the bottom line. And no better about it. Why we going to let Joe Biden, the person we so-called black people hate, the old white man. So the old white man support a black woman more than we do as black people? That don't even make sense.
Yeah. That's something we definitely got to work on. But I you said we all just got to give her a chance and see where it goes. But it's something amazing to see, man. Just how quick the progress has worked. You know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff, they say you got to work on, you got to put 10,000 hours in. Just even us doing stand-up, we got to put 10,000 hours in. And just to know that Barack put his time in, he was young, but he still was old in the aspect of, he was young to have the job as president. But he still put so much work in that short period of time to become president. And just like Kamala Harris, she's not young either, but she's young for the position of vice president. But she's just put so much work in, you can say neither one of them deserve that position, because they definitely do.
Indeed. Let me add one more 2 cents. And Kamala, she might be mad at me for this, so I'm apologizing in advance. But it's true. It's true. We got a black female vice president before we had a white female vice president. So times is changing, man. So y'all cheer for that. Cheer for that. We don't get wins often. That is a true win for African Americans. A true win to say that we got something in this country, literally, first.
Yeah.
First.
I think even white people might be happy about this one, though. Like, could you imagine Sarah Palin got that shit? I think white people's like, you know what? Fair trade. You know what? We're okay with this. You know what? When Pudgy put it that way, we got it. And we're like, you know what? Good for them. Man, Pudgy, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Hey, man, you follow my man Mike. He's super awesome guy and comedian. Also, you can follow me, comedian Pudgy, as well as Rodney Butler on, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I try to be a little bit everywhere. Comedian Pudgy.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and you guys have an amazing day.
Indeed.